Well, I will present the data coming from the Polish Registry of Imatinib Generics. The branded generics has expired, the patent for branded generics has expired in December 2013, and starting from June the 1st, 2014, we are facing the Imatinib generics in Poland. So we decided to establish the registry for just the recording the data of effectiveness and of safety of generics. We realized that we will have about 12 preparations available on the market, so therefore we thought it will be reasonable to test the hypothesis that generics are equally good or maybe not in our patients.
And how did you go about testing that?
Well, we have the data starting from the first observation from the June 2014, and it seems that those generics are working very well. They are just compared for the ability to achieve early molecular response, the response after 6 months, and optimal response after 12 months of using the generics, and they are equally good. They have quite good tolerability profile. However, there are some differences between preparations we have available. At the moment, we have 4 preparations available on the market, and 2 companies are taking the majority of the market of Polish Imatinib Generics.
Okay. Now you mentioned that they are equally efficacious. What about the safety profile?
Yes, they seems to be safe because we didn't notice any increase of the switching rate between the first generation TKIs, imatinib, and the second generation TKIs. So they are comparable to the other data we have from the past, from the literature. And we didn't observe any increase of number of losses of responses. So the CCYR of patients, they were switched from original branded imatinib to generics is less than 1%, and MMR loss is equally around 1 to 2%. We did observe some losses in very deep molecular response, meaning MR 4.5, which is around 4%. But this is still acceptable, and we cannot see any adverse effects of administrating imatinib generics in our patients.
You mentioned the patients. How were they selected for the trial, and were they made available to switch if they had any?
Yes, this is not the trial, this is the registry. So we were trying to register all patients in Poland, just switch from branded imatinib to generic imatinib. So the idea was to have as complete picture as it is possible. We have at the moment nearly 900 records. I will report on 726 records in this conference. So we have 16 centers participating in the project. Of course, this not cover the all patients in Poland, but that was the idea, and I have the impression that probably 90% of patients, they are treated with imatinib in Poland. They are covered by the registry, because the registry is divided in 2 groups. The first is the analysis of what happened to patients switched from branded imatinib to the generic imatinib, and the second is dedicated to de novo recognized patients as patients suffering from CML, and they just started the treatment with generics of imatinib. The first question we posted within this project was the quality of the molecular monitoring within the treatment of CML, because in the past the treatment with imatinib branded was pretty much centralized in Poland, and it was left in the hands of hematologists. At the moment, theoretically at least, all doctors, they are employees of the hospitals, they have a contract with National Sick Fund, they can perform the treatment of patients with CML. In reality, they really sent those patients to hematologists, but that was the question if the compliance to ELN guidelines regarding the frequency of monitoring, molecular monitoring of the treatment will decrease. And in fact, in the survey I performed in 2012, we have 69% of patients, they were followed just according to ELN guidelines. At the moment, this ratio dropped down to 53%. So still is not bad, but we are a little bit worried about the frequency of molecular testing in those patients.
Okay. And I suppose with the registry being able to put together all of the safety and the efficacy, the only question left there is cost.
Well, by law in Poland, the cost of generic should not exceed 50% of the cost of branded drug. But due to the competition, I mentioned that we did have 12 generics available on the market. The cost dropped down in the first tenders organized by Polish hospitals to 2 to 5% of the original medication. At the moment, after 1 year, when majority of the market is taken by 4 pharma companies, we could see that the price is a little bit higher, but still it is about 5 to 10% of the original medication.
I suppose, in conclusion, can you think of any good reason why wider application for generics for imatinib shouldn't go forward?
Well, I think it's economically reasonable. Polish patients have some doubts of the efficacy of those preparations because only bioavailability data were available at the time. But after these years of observation, we can assure the other patients that they are equally effective as branded imatinib, and they are very, very good drugs.